Thank you guys for joining us on this random conversation that Reshma and I were having. And then we were like, maybe we can invite others right away into this conversation. So take it away, Reshma. What were we talking about?
So we were talking about how I had so-called, let me just quote it, so-called money issues and issues with showing up in my life. And then we were talking, and then you were just in so total allowance. And then that one moment when you sort of lost it, and you were like, I was saying that I'm so stressed, and I was going on with my story. And he was like, do you know stress is a choice? And I was like, okay. And she was so intense. She was so intense. Like, it was like my mom was literally yelling at me, but she was not yelling. Let me promise you that. But then it was very intense, and I, being so sensitive to energy, and we all are like that. And I was like, okay, I better show up in my life, and I better step up. And I told her, okay, I'm choosing to step up. And then she was like, it's not about stepping up, it's about choosing in these 10 seconds. And I was like, oh, there you go.
Did I? I don't even remember.
And yes. And then I said, yeah. And something just changed. Something, nahi, everything just changed in those 10 seconds. And I'm choosing, and I'm creating more money, I'm creating more ease. And in Pune, I promise you, if you ever come to Pune, you will not like, you will have red signals everywhere. And today I didn't even stop at one signal. And I was like, yay! And it was so much ease and so much of me showing up. And I wonder what we could create with Eena.
Thank you so much for that. Like,
So yeah.
yeah, it's well, she was pretty much standing on the cliff, and that's what I was telling her. This is like not a conversation I can have with everyone. And thank you for being willing to receive it, because she was ready. Like, she was like, I'm ready. Is someone going to push me? And you sometimes kind of know that moment, and I so do that with myself as well. Like, I so know I'm just standing somewhere, and whatever didn't even require a push, or whatever didn't even require jumping off a cliff. Like, where are we, like, stopping ourselves into going into testing ourselves? But what if our lives could really be that space of that ease and that joy that we actually truly be, where things are effortless? Like, when it's effortless is when you're being you, when you're being present, when you're being in the question, and you're willing to receive the contribution that everyone and everything can be to you without a point of view. So it was really like, yeah, so thank you so much for actually, like, receiving it, because it was so much ease to even have that, like, that moment, that intense moment of, like, I think it lasted like 5 seconds. And then we were like, and then from there we went to, oh, okay, cool. So what are we creating? What are we doing? So let's this. Okay, so what does the call want? Okay, this. So we were actually talking about the advanced how to become money calls that are coming up. And these calls, like, really invite you, and the workbook really invites you to that, to this place that you be, to the ease that you be, to the ease that money is really. Actually, if you look around you, everything is money. There's money everywhere. It's only our points of views that keep us from receiving it. So what would it be like to really have that kind of space available, I wonder, where we are walking, talking money, and the energy the energy that creates, generates, and produces money. And everything that doesn't allow that, and for us to perceive, know, be, and receive it, can be destroyed and uncreated.
Yes.
Right now, good, bad, pop, or online boys and girls. I'm also, like, so grateful for you guys to pop on, because it's, like, amazing that I love it. It's the curiosity of you, right? You're like curious, what is she doing? What are they up to? What are they talking about? We have to get on this. We have to know what is Reshma talking about? What is Eena talking about? Like, what's going on? And like that is the brilliance of you and brilliance of us, right? The curiosity that we have, which we tend to sort of lose over a period of time because we start looking at the rightness and the wrongness or the answers of it, whereas it totally can be. If you're like curious, then you're curious about everything. Then you're curious about even your conclusions. Like you're like, okay, I have this conclusion, so how, can it be a question? Or what else is possible here that I haven't considered? And everything that's showing up for you has Sunil, that says no voice. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Sun-
On your computer, Sunil. So it's so what?
Sunil, you'll have to click on the audio mic to enable the sound, the icon of the mic.
Cool. Could you look that up in the chat if you had any questions? So
Sure.
it's, thank you. So it's also like this space available to us where we can be curious about everything, and where like today today we had this whole thing of where certain members of our team are I've got a business called the Earth Home, and we do interiors, architecture, furniture design, and construction and building, and brand design and business development and all of that, and some more, can't remember what. But it's like, so we had like this thing going on where there was this whole sort of in our face awareness about how certain people were functioning from and what was that creating. And the whole thing was that we were like just sitting there and going, oh, wow, awareness. Oh, they're functioning from there. Awesome. Now, can that work for us? How can that work for us? What would it take? What are their strengths? How can we use that to our advantage? Because what if everything that's showing up in your life is information? And if you just asked even one question as to what else is possible here, or what, because everything that, also when we actually acknowledge that everything that we is showing up in our life is what we are asking for and what we are creating, then it's easy, because if you create this, what else can you create? So then you can just ask what else is possible here, and then possibilities start showing up. So any questions so far?
Ina, you talk about being the energy of gold, or to be being the energy of money. I mean, can you talk a little about that? What does it mean, or
Sure.
what does it feel like to be that?
It's, well, I've also been playing with it, so I am definitely not Miss Perfect Gold Money Energy Walking. But everyone do the advanced How to Become Money workbook. It totally contributes and make it easy. But it's also this space of knowing that, like, look at your life. Have you all always had food? Always had
Yes.
a roof on your head or a place to stay? Are you living on the streets, or are you,
No.
right? And so you, like, what if you acknowledge that you always have money and you can always generate and create it? It's like acknowledging that, wow, I am not on the streets. That means like I create this stuff on a regular basis. I always have money no matter how it shows up. I always have the things that I require, food, which is, anyways, we think that we require and need food and need this, and that's another conversation altogether, which we will touch upon in the Advanced How to Become Money workbook. But it's also like, it's really the space of acknowledging, wow, I always have money. I always actually manage to feed myself. So these are the things that I've been asking for, that, you know, I should always have food and I should have a place to stay. What else am I not asking for that I can ask for today? That if I ask for, will actually show up. So everything that doesn't allow it to be that easy, can we destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, awkward, all nature, boys and beyonds. And it would also show up different for different people, as well as for the same person at different times. So each time that I ask, what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to be the energy of money, or be the energy of that creates, generates, produces money. It shows up in so many different ways. One of them is play. Like, where are we functioning from the need and the necessity of things, and where can we actually add more play in our life? Like, what are we doing on this planet, right? Like, what are we here for? So what are you here for? What do you desire to create? Which we don't even ask ourselves. When I started asking that years back when I got the access tools, I asked that every day, and I still do. What do I desire to create? What can I create as my future or as the future? And every day I get more awareness and more possibilities that pop that I might not have considered before. And the other is to choose that's fun and joyful for you, the willingness to acknowledge that, and the willingness to include money in that. Like, we every now and then, like, first is to acknowledge that you don't create for money. So when you really work hard towards creating for money, it is work, and it's hard, and it's difficult, and it's effort. But when you're actually creating for the joy of it, and are you actually creating for the fun of it, then money follows in ways, like in so many random ways. And the other part of it is the financial awareness, the willingness to be aware and be present. Like, that is hugely showing up for me, and has shown up more and more in the past. So where I was totally unwilling to be aware of, be present with money, where I was unwilling to be aware of how am I using money, where is it actually feeding this reality, and where is it actually creating, and what if creating a different reality. So what if money was to create a different reality, was to change people's realities? And the more I ask that, the more money is becoming fun, because I love changing people's realities. I love fucking with people. I love fucking with my own world and other people's world. So it's so much fun to actually play with that as a possibility. So that
If I can add something there.
Please do.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I actually a couple of weeks back, when I was actually stressing about this whole money thing and how I had stopped choosing, I had started making everything very significant. I had started asking, like, I would ask question, but I would always have conclusions to it or definitions to it. Like, oh, if I go there, then I'll just make only so much money. Or if I do this, then I'll only make so much money. But I never asked what else is possible there. Or even if I did, like, I always had a preconceived notion about it. So I would always limit myself there. And then when I actually started creating for the fun of it, I don't really care from where money shows up. And money is flowing into my life every day because I'm not making it significant anymore. And I'm just doing it because I want to play, I want to have fun. So it's a lot of fun these days. So without stressing about anything, I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, like, how much of that showed up by choosing the Advanced How to Become Money workbook called? It's like just the choice.
Yeah. And it's also about when I actually did the Advanced How to Become Money workbook, I got the awareness that I was not present in my life. Like, I was just making excuses, and like, there was so much awareness that I can't talk about it in these few minutes. Like, there was so much awareness, and like, what I can talk about right now is that I was not present, and I was not choosing in these 10 seconds. I was choosing for the future, and of course that is important, but it's also like about living in the now. It's about being present in your life.
Yeah.
All of that, so a lot of awareness came through the Advanced How to Become Money work.
Yeah. And also, like, I call a lot of people and talk to a lot of people, and one of the things that really seems to show up a lot, like a lot of people who have been like doing sessions with me or classes or otherwise, like a lot of like one sort of pattern that really pops is where we are like, you know, the universe will provide. Yes, but you have to ask, and you have to have your back, because the universe actually, like you, is aware of energy. So you might be saying this, oh, what would it take for $100 million to show up? But if you're not choosing it, if you're not making the choices that match the energy of this, then universe is like, she wants it, she doesn't want it, she wants it, she wants it, she wants it, he doesn't want it. So it's really about being present with what are you really asking for, and be willing to look at the points of views that you are functioning from. So it's and I've so done that as well. Like, oh, what would it take for money to show up? But it sort of requires some sort of choices and follow up, which is again from the fun and joy and matching the energy. But it's also the willingness to do whatever it takes. And by what do I mean by having your back in regards to um, everything, is that knowing what we were talking about in regards to the that you're not on the streets, right? You are here, you have an internet connection, you are on this call, you're on the Zoom. So you and you have a computer on which, or a phone on which you're running this. So what all of that has been created by you. So it's the willingness to have your back, and willingness to say that I am going to have it. Now, what's it going to take? What can I choose? What can I be? What can I do to generate this? And then choose that shows up. So the action and the choice also comes from being present and being there. And that's what we all, this conversation is about, right? Consciousness, awareness, being more present. So, where are we just, how much do we like, so it's about being present with this as well. Where are you saying, oh, what would it take for money to show up? Like, it's like, and this is how we say it, right? Where, what would it take for money to show up? Is this whole space of there we being this energy of like, we don't know, it might show up, it might not show up. There's like no having your back. Like, if you don't have food today or tomorrow, what are you going to do? Are you going to say, universe, what would it take for food to show up? Or you're going to get off your butt, go ask someone, call a friend, get somewhere, do something, go out and get a chore, go to a gurdwara, go somewhere, get the food. So it requires your choice to actually get into the action of having it and having that as your reality. And that is the space of the choice of having your back. Because you're like, I require food, I'm going to go get it. I'm thirsty. Like, I have heard stories of where people, when they were thirsty and there was no water, they've gone and actually had the water from the balti or the bucket that was lying in the loo, because they were so thirsty, they just had to have water and they didn't give a flying fuck. So what would that look like for you in your life? Like, what if you didn't give a flying fuck about other people's judgments, what other people around you are choosing or not choosing, what they are willing to ask for or not ask for, and have your reality in your life, no matter what it takes and no matter what it looks like. And it doesn't really require a lot of fight and struggle. It just requires your acknowledgement of you, whether anyone else can see it or not. Like, I had a conversation today with someone who was, which was an awesome conversation, where she was like, you know, I do the access classes and then I get out and then I do a certain things, and my family's like, you know, you're doing all these classes but there's been no, you know, you're not changing. There's no change in you. So I asked her a very simple question, which I ask all of you. So truth, are you changing, and have you changed? Which parts or what area in your life or where have you changed that you haven't acknowledged, that if you did, will allow a different possibility to show up? We don't acknowledge ourselves, and we don't acknowledge what we know. We don't acknowledge where we've chosen something different, because nobody else can see it. We don't see ourselves. We don't acknowledge our capacities and gifts because other people can't see it. But it starts from you. You have to have the back of yours and be kind to you and ask yourself as to where have you changed? What have you created? What choices do you have and have had that you haven't acknowledged that are not available to anyone else? And everything that allows you to perceive, know, be, and receive that can be destroyed and uncreate all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nature, birth, and grass. Like one of the examples is like, I just love creating, and I require a million things going on when I'm creating. So when I don't have those million things, when I didn't have that many million things going on that are fun and joyful for me, I was creating a lot of crap. So when I started, and it was also from this whole point of view of buying into this reality. Like, I love creating. I enjoy like creation and meetings and calls where we are like, let's go. What else can we create? I talked to so many people during the day from all over the world and contribute to global businesses worldwide, which are looking at expanding and creating different realities. And I talked to people in one day from Israel, from Germany, from France, from India, from Italy, from Australia, and it's so fun for me. And a lot of times when I would talk to someone, they would be like, you know, you work so hard. Do you get any break? Do you get any rest? Do you get, how do you? But so I was buying into that as some sort of a rightness or wrongness. Yeah, initially, this is before I started using access tools and realizing it is fun for me to create. It's just about asking and being present that I wasn't willing to be. So what is true for you that might not be true for other people around you, or there might not be something that they're choosing right now. That you, if you allowed yourself to choose it, will create the life that you desire. Like the moment there's this energy of not having too much going on or being bored, I know I can add something else. So here's a question that you can ask every day that I do too, is what can I add to my life today? Who or what can I add to my life today? Who or what can I add to my creations, to my projects, to my business, to my classes today? And everything that doesn't allow that can be destroyed and uncreated all. Right, wrong, good, bad, backward, all nature, birth and beyonds. So any questions thus far? Thank you so much, everyone, for getting on. This is so exciting. We were like just talking, Reshma and I, and we were like, let's involve other people. We were like, oh, so maybe we should create. We were talking about the advanced how to become money telecalls that are coming up, and Reshma is the amazing host and promoter of the classes, and we were like, and a creator actually of the classes, and we were just having conversations. So what would be fun and what can we create and all of that, and we were chatting away, and then she was like, you know, thank you for pushing me off the cliff. I'm flying. And that conversation was going on randomly. And then we were like, okay, so maybe would it be fun to invite people to, what can we do? What can we create with everyone? Like, what can we be to create with everyone and invite everyone to these calls if they so desire to join? Reshma was like, okay, I'm going to be like, I was going to give the censored story, but maybe not. So I was like, maybe we can do a Zoom. How about you and I do a Zoom, and we will, and so we start chatting. And then she's like, how about just sharing it with everyone? And here's me who goes, maybe we should, I don't know, come on, not, yes, maybe. Or maybe we should just, maybe it should be just you and me. And I totally tried to sneak out of it. But this happened really fast in 5 seconds. And Reshma was like, so I was like, well, cool. So what will create more, A or B? So A was like just Reshma and me doing it. And B was like inviting all of you guys to it. And Reshma was like, B is really light. A is very heavy. And I was like, shit. And in my head, I was like going, please let her choose A. Please let her choose A. But the moment she chose B, I was like, oh, damn it, she chose B. Okay, cool, let's do it. So how much fun can we have? And then she started texting, and then it started adding that more fun. So where are you unwilling to, like, see, like, that's how we stop ourselves every time, that everything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge that's a trigger, that's a stop sign you're seeing right there, and to be able to just choose beyond it and see what shows up. I was like, cool, worst come worst, nobody will show up. Okay, cool. Worst come worst, it'll go really bad, our internet will work, whatever. But actually, I didn't even go there. I was like, what would it take for it to be fun? And then I started really allowing myself to tap into the energy of this as a creation. And we were like, yay, let's do it. Like, so what if you just got into action? Where are you stopping yourself from trying to get it right, perfect? Like, I was used to be the perfectionist queen, and I never found it, because it's not true. It's a lie. There's nothing called perfection. But I did judge myself for many years to not be perfect. But in my family, I was called, you know, she's like a perfectionist. She's like a perfectionist. It was said so many times. I really bought it as real, and then I could never live up to that standard of myself, because I'm always changing, and I'm always creating different, and I'm always, everything doesn't like you to acknowledge what is it that true, what is true for you. Where have you been cursed by your family and your friends to choosing everything that you can be destroyed and create all of that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, online shows, boys and beyonds. So it's amazing how you guys have popped on. I love the curiosity of you. And for hopping on with what else is possible here. So yeah, so that's how we were chatting. So everything that doesn't allow everything to be fun and play for you, for being on this planet, for having your life, for having your body, for money to be fun and play for you, can be destroyed and create all of that. Right, wrong, good, bad, Pokemon, boys and girls. What if it was just a choice? And what if it was a choice that's only available to you? Might not be available to other people around you just yet or ever, but who cares? Whose life do you want to live? Yours or someone else's? So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive what's fun and joyful for you, and choose it and take the leap anyways. And what if it wasn't a leap? What if it was just leaning into it? Can be destroyed and create out of that. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, online shows, boys and beyonds. Wow. I can go on talking. So thank you for this, Reshma, and thank you all of you for this impromptu chance of me talking away.
It's so much fun. I've never done this before. I'm so grateful that we both chose it. And I didn't let you escape.
And you didn't let me escape either. So thank you for that. She's like, B is life. I'm like, damn it, she's choosing B.
So yes, also Eena being so kind, she's offering everybody who chooses the advanced how to become money workbook before the 13th of July a 20 minutes personal session that's like a one-on-one. Oh my god, I wonder what's that going to create and who all are going to fly off the cliff. So yes, everybody who would like to choose it, guys, choose fast and choose soon, and don't let this opportunity go, because I promise you she's really going to be a catalyst to changing a lot of stuff. At the end of the day, you would have to choose for yourself, but then she will really try and push you off the cliff.
Yeah, it's totally, she was literally dangling from the cliff. I was just like, what, are you just going to dangle there, or are you going to take off? And she's like, take off. And then she took off. But she's been like creating like crazy, and it's been so much fun creating with you, Reshma. Thank you, like really.
Thank you.
Thank you. So what if you being you is an invitation for others to choose being themselves if they so desire, without a point of view? Like, that is more or less being the catalyst. It's like your willingness to show up as you every 10 seconds, whatever energy that might be. And what invitation can that be Like being the catalyst of change or being the change maker or whatever that you want to call it is actually not about like working on someone, really. It's really about your willingness to show up as you. And that sort of creates a space for others to choose it if they so desire. Like Reshma did. Reshma did with me. She was like, we are taking off. Let's invite everyone. Bricks. Uh, but what if it could be that easy? Yes, no, yes. Should we choose this? Yes. Energy? No. Energy? Yes. And then choose. And choice creates awareness. Choice gives you the awareness of what that is. Another thing that I see a lot really happening is that this whole thing of that I'm choosing it. I'm choosing the class. I'm choosing to have this. I'm choosing to travel there. I'm choosing to have money, $100 million or whatever that is for you. But that's different from actually the choice of it. So the willingness to have it and the willingness to do whatever it takes and take the action that's required and be willing to be the energy that's required for it is what will actually create it. Like when you go looking for water and you're like, I don't care where I find the water, what it looks like, I'm going to drink now. I require water now. You create it. And like, look at whatever this is for you in your life, where you've gone, I'm fucking having this. I don't care. And you've created it. Like another example is that spaces and architecture and interior design and graphics and all of this has really interested me always. And I've always really been interested in the graphics, in the spaces and they sort of speak to me. And but when I went to look at the architecture school thing, it was I required science background and I required to study math, which was like uh, something that that was not fun for me at that time, and it totally is now. I totally love accounts. I love accounting. It just was not presented to me in a fun way, but architecture required that. And everyone that I spoke to at that particular time was like, you'll have to study science. Why do you want to do this? Do design and that will work for you. And it did. I totally created that, right? Because I was like, who's going to study so hard in school in regards to the whole science and math thing? And how does it get any easier than this? Like I didn't have these tools, but I was really being the space I can acknowledge now of how does it get any easier than this. And then I moved from I used to live in Chandigarh. That's where I went I was in Delhi and then in Chandigarh, and then I did my schooling there and my college there. I went into communication design and graphics. So when I came to Delhi to start working, I moved in a house full of architect students who were studying in an awesome college. And I, being a graphic designer and a designer, got to work on all their drawings and their assignments. And I started learning how to read and draw drawings, the architecture drawings. And then I started hanging out with them and started learning more. And then I got to work in an architecture firm, designing wall spaces. Then I got exhibition designs that I designed. And then I met a guy who's my current partner and my husband, who's an architect. So it was like, so now I have an architecture firm with no education as per college, but creating spaces and homes and hospitals and schools and colleges and academies. So where can you acknowledge that you've gone like, I'm having it. I don't care how it shows up, but I don't care whatever it takes, but I'm having it. And all of you, this is one thing that whether we've met before or not, that I can tell you, have something like that, at least one thing in your life that you have gone ahead and created it anyways. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive, that is a gift. And where are you using that against you? And where can you now use to create your life and the future that you desire? Can we destroy and create all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pot, all natural boys and beyonds. So, on that note, I'm just so grateful that you guys hopped on, because you made my day, and thank you for adding more joy to my life. And where can we go from here? And do join in if you would like a different reality, your reality with money, and even start getting a sense of what is your financial reality and what would that even look like, and getting more clear on the points of views that that you're functioning from that might be limiting that from showing up. And the other is that what Reshma said, that if you would like to hop on, the Advanced How to Become Money workbook is something I would recommend anyways. Like, even if you don't want to get on my calls, these are 9 calls, a series of 9 calls over 3 weeks. But even if, like, just pick up that book and see what that sort of can start contributing to you. For me, it was really fun to do it in a group, because every one of us has this different question, different energy, different thing that we're looking at creating. It just brings in so much more energies than me just sitting on my own and doing it. And I would love for you to have a one-on-one session if you sign up before, is it what, 13th, 14th?
13th of July. 13th.
These calls start on 17th, but you can sign up if you sign up and pay, which is the sign up, by 13th July. Then you get a one-on-one session with me of 20 minutes, which is otherwise 10,000 rupees. And we get to play a full-on 20 minutes power session, which is, it's up to you. Do you want to talk about stories, or do you want to change and create your reality? And that would be available for the time period. You can get your session and time booked with Reshma between the time period of from 17th to 3rd August, is it? 2nd August.
2nd.
So, yeah, that's where we are at. Does anyone have any questions? Anything that anyone would like to talk to before we say bye-bye? Is anything that I did mention, Reshma?
No, nothing. Like, everything's covered. And thank you so much. Really, you've really been the space for changing and creating and shifting my life. So I am very grateful.
Yay, thank you. And you for me. So for me.
You're welcome.
Cool. Anyone has any questions? Anything to say? Any? Cool. So, on that note, thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon, somewhere in the world. See you soon. Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you.